you're walking off after the eighth, just everything just build up the way it did, and then you get the reception that they gave you.
It was pretty special. A lot of emotions came through both when I gave up the hit, but I was able to, channel those back into pitch execution for the rest of the inning. But, seeing the crowd get on their feet and hearing my walkout song and walking off, and it just taking all that in the brief few seconds that I was able to, it was pretty special.
What was the emotion you felt when Massey's hit dropped in?
As soon as he hit it, I didn't even want to look. I just was like, no. But, yeah, Rocchio saved the no-hitter twice, and Schneemann saved it once. So, hats off to those guys for even helping me get to that point, because I only punched out 3, I think. 4, what was 3? 3? So, that means my defense was working.
So, what's it like, not just to pitch great, but especially in such a situation when you guys need to win every game here?
Yeah, it's a race to the end right now. Everybody knows what our schedule looks like. We play 27 games in 27 days. Length is important, and quality is just as important. And I was glad I was able to give both those today.
Slade, how did you stay composed? You had a lot of long offensive innings early in the game. How did you kind of manage those, especially the 6 runs? What were you doing in the dugout?
I was pacing up and down, trying to just keep my mind active without being super, intensely focused between innings. Giving my mind a break, but not letting it wander too far, if that makes sense.
When do you start to think about it?
I noticed after the 4th, we scored so many runs that I looked up at our scoreboard just to see what the score was, and I kind of noticed, I was like, there's a lot of zeros up there on our side. But you put that thought in the back of your head, and whenever it tries to creep back in there, you shove it a little deeper. Just focus on the task at hand, which is executing one pitch at a time.
What have you been working on, the past few weeks here? First few months, obviously, were linear, and then maybe some speed bumps in the second half. What have you been working on?
So the first, kind of just from day one when I got traded to, the entire first half was just, there was a lot of delivery work, there was pitch shaping work, there was arsenal work, developing new pitches, and all of that is accumulated to now focusing more on strategy and how do I play the game the best way? What does my best game look like? And it's, staying out of the middle with my fastballs, executing whatever off-speed I have working the best that day, especially my curveball, because it is performed at such an outlier level to righties and lefties that it's regardless of the report, it's a pitch that I need to utilize. And just not giving in to hitters behind in counts and making them earn their way on. I know I was told I had a really long no-walk streak, but you never want to walk a guy, but you also have to pay attention to what the game is telling you. And the game has told me right now, stay further out of the way from the middle and trust that I have the command to execute and find locations behind in the count. And walks don't necessarily kill me.
Regardless of history, this is probably the best start you've had in the majors. Not only to have that moment tonight, but to have it at this time for this team. Just how big is that?
It's everything right now. Everybody in that locker room believes that we're a playoff team, and we've believed that since the day we showed up to spring training. It's been preached from Voter, from the staff, from Hedgie, who's rallied us around himself so many times, being, such a great leader. And there's not a guy in that locker room that doesn't believe that we belong in October. We're going to keep working our butts off. We're not going to give up or give in. No matter how tight this race is, we're going to focus on winning today and then tomorrow and then the next day, no matter what happens.
Slade, you mentioned that curveball, really heavy usage tonight. Was that something you felt coming into the game? Is that something that was part of the scouting report? Can you talk about that pitch a little bit more?
We've looked at the numbers on, some of the scouting report, but just not a lot of people in the league throw a curveball like I throw it. It's bigger, it's slower. It really complements my fastball. They have almost exact opposite movement patterns. It's probably the best tunnel for a pitch that I have, and it's a pitch that we've talked about really working into the game plan, and it kind of worked out well that I had the best command of it tonight that I've had all season. When you pair that with strategy of how to use it things go well. They also had 7 lefties in their lineup, which is, it's a pitch that I have used predominantly more to lefties, but also a pitch that I'm trying to really use to righties regardless now, seeing how it plays.
I know you had a couple near no-hitters in college, maybe through 5 or 6 innings. Any in the minors, any others that come to mind, and how do those compare to doing in the
My debut last year in San Francisco, I think I went like 5. I think it was 5 perfect in San Francisco last year. I'd have to look back into high school, to be honest with you, to really find another one. I remember in college I had one. I think I went out for the 5th and took a line drive off the face. That wasn't fun. Broke up the no-hitter. But I think this is the furthest. This is definitely the furthest I've taken it in a game in the big leagues by far.
I'm sure we've asked you this before, but on a special night like this, what was it like being traded? Was it a shock for you and to get used to a new community as far away as you from it?
Yeah, it wasn't a shock to me. I'd, heard rumors for kind of 2 years surrounding my name in trades. I knew that Arizona had a lot of pitchers, a lot of starting pitchers. They had gone out and, signed some guys as well. I knew that might not have been my home, at least as a starter. They talked about moving me to the bullpen, and I wasn't very adamant about doing that. And being traded here and being viewed as a starter, where I see myself having the most value, is important and was amazing, when it happened.
All right, I got a voter here. Go ahead, one more. Given the rich pitching history of this franchise,
how shocking is it that it's been beyond 4 decades now that anybody's thrown a no-hitter for Cleveland?
Yeah, it's certainly something that sticks out. It's an anomaly, especially because we've seen so many people come close. Gavin came closer than me in New York. I don't know if Shane came close. I'm pretty sure he did. He had to have, right? Like, that guy's pretty good. He's they've had so many, Kluber, so many guys come through that have won Cy Youngs and done that, and you got to look at the whole picture. You can't just look at, one little stat like that, and I'm sure somebody will. Shoot, maybe tomorrow. Who knows?
okay,
Thanks a lot.
How much easier or was it less easy to have a pitcher that deep with a no-hitter after just what just happened in New York?
Yeah, at least I had a rep at it, so it wasn't the first time going through it. But no, Slade was outstanding. That was a lot of fun to watch. He was going to go. 6-man rotation. Everybody's getting an extra day, so he was going to have an extra day already built in. You have to wait and see how the 8th unfolds, but definitely the plan was to let him go and go after it.
Well, you've been steadfast with we talked about even before him having spin, and when we hear him talk about understanding how his pitches tunnel, and he sounds like a completely different guy than he did 6 months ago, 7 months ago. What does that say to not only him, but just everybody that's kind of helped him in the last 6, 7, 8 months?
Yeah, I think for Slade, the number one thing we've seen is he's getting an opportunity to be a part of a major league rotation that believes in him. When he came to us, he wanted our suggestions right away. Obviously, had the unfortunate injury during spring training, but since he's come back, he dives in with our pitching team and our catchers every time out, and the 5 days in between, he's routine oriented. It was really fun to watch him get an opportunity to do that tonight.
Could you sense early on that he really had something special going tonight?
Not really, to be honest. I felt like his command wasn't great the first few innings. He spiked a lot of pitches throughout the night, but he kept executing and making pitches when he needed to. So it was one of those, and we were scoring so much. That's hard. It's hard to sit there when the offense is putting up a lot of runs for you. It's a good thing, but it's hard to sit there for that long. But Slade came out and was sharp when he needed to be, and it turned into an unbelievable outing.
You guys made the choice to move Rocchio to second base. Did you think he would take to it this quickly, as well as he has defensively at that?
Yeah, no doubt in our mind. He's Gold Glove caliber defender, and it's not easy to move positions, but if anybody can, it's him. And I remember we talked a lot, us in this room, when he first moved. Every mistake that happened or every missed play, those aren't happening anymore. It took him one rep. These are plays he's never made before, and now he's moving to his right, moving to his left, going back, coming in. He's really turned himself into a very, very good second baseman really quickly.
he told me the other day when he gets 2 strikes, he's been working and watching how Quan just gets bat to ball and he's not taking that overswing. I think 3rd inning or so, it almost looked like they were carbon copy hits. What does that say about him?
Yeah, Rocchio is really developing into an all-around really good hitter. You know, his power, we talk to him all the time. Pitchers are going to throw you homers. They're going to throw you homers. You don't have to hit them. And he's done such a great job of shortening up, and then he drives that ball with 2 strikes over the left fielder's head, burns him. You know, he's just going to continue to get better and better and stronger and more mature and understand which pitches he can drive, which ones he can't. And it's just been really fun to watch him grow this year.
A win against a team like that tonight is big in its own right, but to have it happen the way it did on all fronts, just how much bigger is that?
It's a win. You know, it's nice to see the bats come alive. It's nice to have Slade, you know, take a no-hitter into the 8th, but there's no momentum in baseball. There's none. It's only as good as the next day's starting pitcher. So we're going to celebrate the win tonight. It's an awesome night for us all around, but we have another one tomorrow. We're going to show up ready to work and ready to play.
How is Arias's wrist?
He's doing all right. Obviously, in a game like that, you know, he takes a few swings where it's barking at him. We're trying to make sure that we keep him as healthy as possible so he can be out there as often as possible. So we'll see how he's feeling tomorrow coming in.
Slade talked about the development of his curveball. What do you make of that pitch, how it's developed, and the fact that there really aren't that many, you know, slower curveballs really that are used that much nowadays?
Yeah, it's incredible to me to watch him with how big and slow it is. It still has teeth, like it's still sharp coming down, and that's what he was missing there for that month. It just wasn't sharp, but it's not an easy pitch to throw, and he executed it really well tonight.
Rocchio was saying like the first stint this year, it felt like he was trying to get 5 hits every at bat. Like, have you seen that switch flip that he's not forcing it that much anymore?
Yeah, I mean, I think you get off to a slow start, and for a young guy like Rocchio, where last spring of 24, he had to come in and earn a spot. Then he almost wins a Gold Glove. He has a great playoff stretch. Comes into spring training with a job. He's never had that before, and that can be a little bit different mindset. And then you get off to a little bit of a slow start in the regular season. Now you're trying to make up for it and catch up, and it's all part of the maturation of a player. You try to get 5 hits a night, it's not going to work. You got to just show up, trust your work, trust yourself, trust your preparation, go out and play. And he's been doing that extremely well since he's been back.
Brian, what's it like for a fielder's point of view, just when a pitcher has a no-hitter going that late into a game?
¿Qué piensa un defensor cuando un pitcher tiene un no-hitter tan tarde así en el juego?
En verdad, uno está medio nervioso, sí, porque uno quiere hacer todas las jugadas para ayudar al pitcher a que complete esa hazaña que es única. Pero, yes.
It's just a little extra anxiety because you want to execute everything because you really want to make sure that they're able to execute such a big accomplishment like he's completing a no-hitter.
Do you feel that building up as the game goes along?
Piensa que cada vez va creciendo cada inning para lo que el juego va pasando.
100%, sí, claro. Es una adrenalina que, ¿sabes? Tú no quieres ni pensar en que no han dado hit, tú lo que quieres pensar es tratar de hacer la jugada y ayudar al pitcher.
100%, just feel that extra adrenaline going on, and you just don't think about then not hitting a base hit. It's just you make sure that everything that goes your way, you can execute it and do it.
Brian, what's the biggest difference been for you in the second half offensively, the second time you've been in a major league this year?
¿Qué ha sido la mayor diferencia después de la segunda mitad para ti ofensivamente? ¿Cómo has podido batear después de la segunda mitad?
Yo creo que uno de los grandes ajustes que yo hice fue más que todo mental. Hice algunos ajustes físicos, pero más que todo mental.
I think it's all about the mental approach. I did minor physical tweaks, but I feel the real adjustment was a mental approach when it's going to the plate.
How did you come to make those adjustments? Did anyone help you? Like, what flipped that switch?
Sí, no. El mental coach aquí me ha ayudado. Yo mismo en mi casa trato de ser lo más simple posible, ¿sabes? Esto es un deporte demasiado difícil. Uno trata de darle mucha mente, muchas cosas que uno no puede controlar. Y desde que me bajaron para triple A y me volvieron a subir, yo traté de ser lo más simple posible y tratar de poner el juego un poquito fácil, sabiendo que no es fácil.
I mean, try to simplify it as much as possible. We know it's a very difficult game, so working a little bit with our mental coach and also with my own day-to-day, realizing that the game is very difficult, very complicated, so I try to simplify it in many ways as I could.
Did you feel different from when you were up here the first couple months? Did you feel different since then?
100%, sí. Como te digo, quería controlar todo, quería dar 5 y un turno, quería hacer todas las jugadas, quería tratar de ser una superestrella sabiendo que eso tiene su proceso. y de verdad que eso yo ahora mismo lo agradezco.
Yeah, I feel I wanted to, hit 5 base hit in 1 AB and trying to take control of everything, make all the plays and play to a superstar level, but I realized that there's nothing I can control, so I realized I had to tone it down and adjust and simplify what I wanted to do on the field.
When Arias goes out and you guys have to move around mid-game like that, what's it say about your defense as a group to be able to make adjustments and still play good enough defense to get as deep as you did with the no-hitter?
¿Qué dice de la profundidad del equipo de la defensa, que a pesar de que Arias tuvo que salir, pudiste ajustarte enseguida a otra posición y seguir ayudando de la misma manera en un juego tan importante como pudieron ayudar de esa manera en la defensa?
Gracias a Dios esa es mi posición natural, si esto, ¿sabes? Yo estoy aprendiendo a jugar segunda y cada vez que eso sucede yo me siento un poquito más cómodo, más confiado, porque es una posición que yo sé cómo controlar. Hay veces que cuando juego segunda son cosas que yo no puedo controlar, y es muy importante que no tenemos muchos jugadores buenos defensivos y ofensivos también. Y eso nos mantiene calmados.
I think thankfully that was my natural position, right shortstop, so whenever that happens for me, it's kind of like that extra level of comfort where I feel more comfortable and everything comes natural. I'm still learning how to play second, so whenever that happens, it's a little bit of an extra comfort room for me, and luckily we have a lot of talented players, both defensively and offensively, that we can rotate and help the team in different ways.
What could you see from Cecconi playing second base, shortstop? What were his pitches doing?
Que estaba ejecutando hoy Cecconi con sus picheos, que le estaban funcionando tanto el que lo podía ver de shortstop como de segundo.
Todos los picheos. Siempre, desde que yo veo pichando Cecconi, él siempre ha tenido buen break en los picheos, buen control. Uno que otras veces uno tiene mala suerte, pero él siempre ha sido un pitcher que a mí me gusta de pichar.
I think since I ever see him pitch, I feel like his pitches have a lot of bite, have a lot of sharpness to it. So not only today, but since I started seeing him from that area, I know that he's been executing his pitches and he can do a lot of damage with those.